Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the city of Springfield. Yes, sir, this is as you might tell, it's a city that has a lot of very definite designs to it. And I'm very eager to show these off, although maybe not as eager as I am to stop these damn fires, so let me take care of that real quick. This city was actually built earlier than the last one I showed you, Santa Palma. So there's certain things about the game that I have learned since then. For instance, there's no need to create poop chutes such as these when you have money, unlimited money. You just have to create these treatment plants because this happens. Your city gets covered in poop, and whoever made this map, I guess the river doesn't really drain the right way, I'm guessing. It's hard to really say. But anyway, this map, as you can tell, is a desert map. There's a tool in the map editor that allows you to add sand, which can be used for beaches and things, or you can do what this guy did and make the entire map desert. So it's very cool. It gives it a very different look and a very different feel from a lot of the other maps. And I'm actually very proud of this city. I'm proud of the last one I showed you, and I'll be proud of the next one. But that's the reason I'm showing you them. I'm showing you my 7 A-list cities, and this one is number 3 in the alphabetical order. So what we're going to do is we're going to start over here, because this was pretty much the first thing I built, this semicircle. It was designed from the ground up, and it's rather cool. As you can see, it uses the 8x12 grid shape that I like so much, and it uses these roads with the center turn lane. One interesting fact about these roads is that they don't generate traffic lights, so they just flow freely, like you see. The problem being, well, there really isn't a problem with them other than realism, I guess. I downloaded a mod that allows you to add traffic lights, but the problem is an update made it unusable. It just crashed for some reason. It causes the game to not function. So, did away with that. But what I did was I created these central avenues, and then I made these blocks. And as you can see, we have, it's kind of hard to see actually, but commercial is lining the major avenues. We have an office zone in the center, and everything around it is residential. So as you can see, it's quite dense, it's quite big, and it's quite nice. I like it a lot. And then to sort of make a boundary, I have a road that goes around, and this is one of those custom roads. It used to be as just one straight curve, although there are a few kinks here because of little improvements that I made. Previously, this was an at-grade railroad crossing, and it created problems and such, so it's pretty good. I like this a lot. On the other side of this highway, we have some waterfront property. And over here, we have an industrial zone. Now, one thing to mention about this city is that this was made before I understood the very fundamental game mechanic of you can make certain types of zones, or you can make certain types of industry in the correct locations, and I just figured, and at that time I just made sort of generic industry everywhere, and this is the result. It's kind of interesting because over here it's working out very well, but as soon as you get over here, not too good. Of course, you have oil here. I did eventually figure it out over the course of making this, but this entire part of the city is just, yeah, it's not too good. If we zoom out, we can pretend it's not as bad as it is. And, yeah, let's see what, just out of curiosity's sake. Yeah, there's really no excuse for it either because okay, no wonder it's not working. That should be ore industry. Yes. I am learning new things since the last time I played this. So there we go. Or that should help things work out. But I'm not really here to fix anything. I'm just sort of here to show you what I made. So this city comes with, or came with, this central spinal highway that goes all the way through the city in this really long and pretty neat double suspension bridge that we have going on here, and that's our main thoroughfare of the city. The guy who made the map also decided to put this weird, eternally long one-way road that goes through here, which is weird. Wouldn't be what I would do, but oh well, it's there. It's not that big of a deal. Ooh, airplane. Hello, airplane. But anyway, what I decided to do was turn this into a sort of a local and express route. And the thing is, the local route, as you'll see, has at-grade crossings. It is kind of a little bit of a mess because it turns into 2 lanes and then back to 1 lane and all that stuff. But it actually got pretty well because this gives local access to to people that are there while keeping the rest of the traffic free flowing over here. And as you can see, highway branches off to that side, which connects directly onto the express portion. Here is a rail yard, and we have. And the thing is, I made this pretty high, I think, so we have some pretty wonky ramps, but they do function. And over here we have a 3-level, actually, arguably a 4-level interchange. I think technically it's a 3-level interchange. I don't see really any 4-level stacks, but this is the main highway of the lower region here. And when you get here, the 2 sides merge into one another to go forward towards the bridge. So it's pretty fun. It's pretty enjoyable just to see them cross the bridge and then decide whether they want to go onto the express or local lanes. We're going to cross the river in a few minutes and take a look at the other side. But I just want to point out how things work here. Yeah, there isn't necessarily the best of traffic design in this city in many places. As I said, this was earlier on in my SimCity building experience, or SimCity, my City Skylines building experience. So I was still learning, and I'm still learning now, but it was much improved. But I just like this highway. It might be 2 lanes, but it does the function that's needed to be. Okay, that's insane that that's there. I'm not sure how that's even possible, but oh well. It's too funny to delete. Oh, night's about to fall. It's pretty cool. I turned on the day and night for show-off purposes. But you have this, it goes along here, and then we have the zone where it crosses over the main thoroughfare of the older planned area, and then it sort of runs along the sea here, or the river. I call it a river. It's actually more of a very long, fat lake because the person who designed the map didn't really make it. Didn't really make the water flow that well. Hence, why the poop water has really taken over, and also the water levels have been slowly rising in this city. It's kind of could be a problem in the future. But anyway, this highway comes to this junction, which is another way to get across to the other side. And if you go over here, you just have one more exit, and then it's the end of it. This roundabout here, which will connect you up with the route that goes around and connect you to this other highway. And I'm pretty sure airports don't work like this. Yeah, that would be a problem. I actually have 3 cargo harbors in this city, which actually really does help to separate out some of the the cargo traffic, except one is used a lot more than the others, and not this one. This one's probably the least of the three. Then we have little outlying towns here, which you can see are very, like the road pattern is more chaotic. I wanted them to have a bit more of an organic look as compared to the rest of the city. You know, the areas here. And then you have this little town that's tucked here in between the two rivers. And it has one of these modded roads. It has center left turn lanes. It's pretty nice. Oh, that's cool looking. But yeah. And as I alluded to before, we also have a highway that is sort of the outer ring of this area. It will exit onto various roads here. There was a time where this national road could not have bridges or tunnels for some reason, so that's why it turns back into regular streets for this these purposes. But that's been since changed. And as you can see, this loops around here. Some rather wonky intersections. This highway was a later addition to this area. And as you see, it goes all the way back down here to the main area, and that's pretty cool. And we have an area called Highland Heights, which is completely flat. It's pretty silly. But yeah. One thing I kind of like is this really wonky system of ramps that's leading to the secondary cargo station, like the other one that doesn't have too much going on. And also it links up to the incinerator district, I guess we could call it. But yeah, the city is pretty flat, except right along the river here, it is pretty highly elevated, so I was resorted to doing these big, long looping ramps to cause traffic to gain or lose elevation in any kind of way. But yeah, some of it links all the way back up to the highway, or to this highway, which links back to the original highway that we were looking at. And there's a few outlying communities here, but there's nothing too interesting going on with them. Now this bridge looks kind of cool at night with these beams of light in the middle. And now I think it's time to get to the other side, which is the bigger side, and as you can see, the more interesting planned community. This one is inland, it's much flatter, and it is a complete symmetrical shape over here, not including the outlying areas. But well, in the center of town you have a roundabout which functions kinda meh in a way. It's not really a roundabout because it has traffic lights and everyone piles into the outermost lane no matter where they're going. But it functions. So what you have here is you count to 5 here, and you count to 5 there, and you have your inner area, your inner grid. And if I imagine, yep, I have kind of a cool pattern here with commercial along the avenues, the office in the middle, high density residential in this this fat plus shape, and then you have lower density commercial and lower density residential on the outskirts of this area, which definitely give you a sense that things are getting bigger the more into the middle that you're moving. Although the offices here are not. Actually, you know what? They are pretty much fully developed at least. Well, they're pretty close. So you don't really get the tallest buildings in the office area. They're mostly in the commercial, high-density commercial, but that's not a big deal. And surrounding it is once again a circular road, and I have to point out that this road is or is very close to being a perfect circle. I was really meticulous when I made this this area. Everything really works out. But yeah, not as many people use this road. It's fun to see like the very, very gradual curvature as it goes around. I like it very much. And oh, that looked unfinished from a certain angle, but it's not. It's not unfinished. Okay, good. So what I did, as you can see around that, is I have a ring road, a expressway that goes all the way around the city, and originally had 12 exits. You know, 3 on each side. Although that was slightly changed and modified as the demand grew. It ranges from this area where there's basically no traffic, or very, very rarely any traffic, to down here where it's extremely busy, especially right here. So each of the main avenues, like there's 3 that go one way and 3 that go the other way. At each end, they have entrances onto the highway. So it radiates out in a way. For instance, this over here, this road comes and crosses this bridge, and is another way to get back over there. But as you can see, it's not all that used, which is okay. You know, it's not really that convenient when you have expressway access over there. Now, on the, I don't know whether you call this north, south, whatever, but on this side of things, you don't have too much traffic, because it's really only people who live like near the edge that will use these ramps. But, you know, they're a pretty good placeholder for future expansion if I was to build more in that area, or this area. You have certain things here, like this is another cargo terminal for trains, so things like that connect directly to the highway in some strategic areas, as does over here. We have our other incinerator hub, and because of the way the map's laid out, it's very easy to find large areas that you can dedicate to sort of just big things like that. And since it connects directly to the Ring Expressway, there's not a lot of problems with you know, dump trucks clogging up the roads. But it's over here when things get a little bit more interesting, and we get to have some fun with some expressways. As you see here, this is a road that becomes 3 lanes to a side, even though everyone tends to like to hang out in just one side or the other, which is extremely silly, but what can you do? Then you have over here, it branches off in the awkward way that things do in City Skylines into a expressway. And over here, you have a very wonky 4-level stack. You know, it's not pretty, but it is functional. And I guess you could argue that there is some sort of strange beauty about this wacky thing, and I really don't know what they're doing here. That's really annoying, but yeah, there's a lot of little quirks with the traffic system, as we know. And this goes and connects to our main highway, and then eventually I built an extension that goes off in this direction. But for a while, this was the main way in. Then I decided to build this right here. Do you see this line of lights? This was a secondary way in, which ended up becoming the primary way in, just because it is a more direct connection, a much more direct access to the city. So as you can see, it comes here in once again an ugly yet functional interchange directly with the highway, although there are slip roads here for getting directly onto some of these other roads. And you have other things like over here, another way of getting out. So there's multiple ways of getting in and out of the city. This was originally a 2 lanes to a side road, and you can even see these days there are still some segments that are that, just because there wasn't enough room to expand it in all areas where it needed to be expanded. But I've managed to get this to be as functional as it can be. It used to get really clogged here, but nowadays it seems to work a-okay. And over here, ladies and gentlemen, is the busy cargo harbor. This is the one where all the action happens, and it's pretty slow now, but oftentimes traffic will be backed up way to here, and you have an extremely long ramp that leads you all the way back to the highway. Although, as you can see, there's even ramps that, if we go underground, go directly to that highway. And yeah, we have some rather interesting ramp systems going on here. It might not look like it makes sense, but I promise you that it does. Everyone gets where they need to go eventually. And the level of congestion is actually surprisingly low, given how wonky and strange that this all is. And I went with a different philosophy for the main avenue on this side, because if you remember back here, I had the through lanes in the middle and the local lanes on the side. In here, I kept the expressway at where it was, but in certain parts of the center, I put some commercial. So it's definitely a very different setup here. So that stretches all the way out to here. Oh man, I like the sunrise look of things. I mean, just look at all this in the sunrise. Yeah, I said this map was flat. It's not really that flat. There's little bumps and hills and things here. I also created a another expressway that goes out to here. And over here we have a very small circle. As you can see, there's a lot of little palaces. All the pot smoking hippies live here, because that's what that symbol is. But yeah, this is sort of like a miniature mimic of all the other masterly planned areas. But there's a very large area over here, which is sort of an outgrowth of this. And what this is my suburbs. As you can see, we have the sort of the denser inner suburbs over here. I think we have a large commercial zone over here. And when you cross the highway to the other side, you have some of the, well, still pretty dense, but the more open suburban type communities. And they are sort of built around these national roads that once upon a time were sort of just like direct lines from one place to another that went through the desert without too much interaction with anything. But nowadays, we have things here like we have a commercial zone. We have this highway that doesn't really finish. It just sort of peters out here. But yes, this is the same one that goes through the center of our city here, which is a way that people can commute from the suburbs to the city, or from one place to the other. And it goes in a classic trumpet to this other highway that comes over here. And this highway extends a very long area through nothingness. And it goes to this sort of hilly area, which I kind of like, because you have this highway, it winds through here along the hillside, and you have development down here, and you have development up there. You go around, hugs the hill, then all of a sudden it goes right and across the river. And if this exists in real life, there would be accidents every day. Those boats you can see. But this game doesn't register those kind of collisions, so that's not a problem for us. But you can see where this all begins. It's just neat, I think. So there is a system of exits. And if you remember, this is the same highway that ends in this intersection over here by the older area. And it's a very popular crossing. But yeah, we still have very, very large areas of the city that are completely unbuilt. And we have a road here that I think no one ever goes on. Or if they do, it's very, very rare, because this truly is in the middle of nowhere. We have some suburban development on the other side of the river too, although not as much. Like Santa Palma, this city is also a work in progress, and there's so much more that can be developed. I just like how these suburban areas are. This is how they really would be too. Like, a lot of these are self-contained, don't connect to one another, and they're just sort of squished in here, swiggled between all the various national roads that exist. It's rather nice. It's really fun to watch traffic drive through these. Arguably even more fun than Santa Palma. And like I said in the other episode, we are going to be featuring some transportation videos in the city as well, and every other city. But this is the general overview that we do first. Now, we do have a rail system in this city, although it is nowhere near as developed as Santa Palma. This was in the early days of my rail building. As you can see, this entire suburban area is not served by rails, although there are some bus lines here. Not as many as are needed, but it is a start. I usually don't like to use bus lines because it's hard to really work them out. But that just means I need to learn the process more. We even have a subway system within both of our areas, and it's designed pretty well, I've got to say. I would honestly call it well designed, because each line, I'm trying to if I change some colors, I have to change some colors over here. If I can, to show you what I did. Alright, some of these lines have to be over here. Yes, here we go. Here's an example. Damn it. Yeah. What I did is I have each line start here at one of the sides, goes here, goes around there, goes there, and goes back. So that way every subway line shakes hands with every other subway line, more or less, and they go through pretty much most parts of the city. And I always make sure to put a subway line near a rail station. That way there's easy access to the rails, which will take them from one part to the other. And as you can tell, we have a rail ring that goes around the city too. It connects to a cross river line, which provides rail transportation between both parts of the city here. And there's rail lines along the Semicircle over here. Really, this first area was practice for the second area. And we have some outlying rail stations here, but overall the rails aren't quite as exciting as Santa Palma or a few of the other cities. But it's a lot of fun. It works pretty well. But that's my city. I think I've showed just about everything of relevance here. I like it a lot. I'm pretty proud of it. Tell me what you think. And also tell me, would you rather live in this city or would you rather live in Santa Palma, the last one I showed you, if you had the choice? That is the question of the day. And it's also the did you watch the video through till the end test, which I like to do every once in a while just to see who watches to the end. But yeah, boats don't work that way. I really don't think, but that's okay. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, it was really fun to show off the city. Stay tuned if you wish for some more driving and riding videos. So, thank you for watching, and goodbye.